State and federal agencies now believe one person is behind the fake active shooter calls that sent Utah schools into lockdown today.
It's been happening across the country. The Utah Department of Public Safety says 13 Utah schools received hoax calls, and there could be more. Fox 13 News reporter Emily Tenser is at West High School in Salt Lake City this evening with what investigators know about the person behind the calls. Emily.
Bob Kelly, the state says that caller who called 911 used the same story every time. Parents tell me they're upset that someone would take advantage of the emotions and fear that they're experiencing right now following that fatal shooting in Nashville. Thousands of students and teachers were in lockdown Wednesday morning after fake calls of active shooter situations popped up across the state.
Just the terror that the kids had to go through. I mean, my daughter said, the cops said they came in and they had her put their hands up just to check them, and she was just like, that's terrifying.
From Weber County to Utah County, it was all hands on deck.
Within a minute, there were hundreds of police cars here. Hundreds. I mean, there were fire engines and EMTs, and they actually had everything for triage. They laid it all out. They were ready.
Despite all calls being a hoax, it was still a very emotional day.
I was angry, so many thoughts of why are our kids being targeted and why are they being protected by, security guards with guns, and this shouldn't be how it is.
Schools like Ogden and Spanish Fork sent students home early.
We still have officers on scene. In fact, we sent officers to each of our schools in Spanish Fork City just as a way to show that you're safe and as a measure of security.
The Utah Department of Public Safety says one person is behind all these calls. They all came from the same number, which correlated to an IP address that is out of the country. Local and state agencies are working with the FBI to locate them.
We want to make sure our community is safe, and so we do treat them as if they're real every time, and that's what we did here.
As frustrating as these pranks are, responders would rather take a drill over the reality of a school shooting any day.
And I want you to know that if there was a hoax tomorrow, we would respond the exact same way we responded today.
The Ogden School District brought a trauma team to students and teachers today, so if they needed someone to talk to, someone would be there, and that group of trained professionals will also be at the school again tomorrow. Now, West High here in Salt Lake City, it's one of the 13 schools that received that active shooter call, but this school district is on spring break. Reporting live in Salt Lake City, Emily Tenser, Fox 13 News, Utah.